If you love me, baby, say it with your chest. Yeah, tired of the maybes, I just want the yes. Don't play me like a song on the spin. If you ride for me, then ride to the end. Don't wanna love this paper thin, so why you always halfway in? Halfway in.
Porch light flicker on the siding, moths dancing like they know the tune. Porch light flicker on the siding, moths dancing like they know the tune. Every breath feels borrowed, but tonight the world's in tune. Old chair hums beneath me, plank boards keep the time. Old chair hums beneath me, plank boards keep the time. If this sound ain't perfect, that's how it's mine. Someone left the radio humming low next door. Someone left the radio humming low next door. Static sings the harmony. I couldn't ask for more. Let the porch light burn uneven, let the shadows play. Yeah, the porch light burn uneven, keep the night from drifting away. If this ain't heaven, it'll do for today. that even for? Was you playing your games? Was you really bored? No. I really should've known. We were then and right till we hit a red light. Didn't see the signs. Oh, after all that time, this is it for us. You don't wanna try. Thought your love was real, but it never was. No, you can't decide. Oh, after all this time, this is it for us. After all this time, this is it for us. After all this time, this is it for us. Oh, I really should've known.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Carlos, Doc Fizz. Yeah, everybody else that's in the room. Karen Wilkes. And yeah, good to have you with me for another evening session here. Hopefully, a little bit more stable than the afternoon session here today, which was a bit of a fiasco. Still made it out, basically break even, but it was a rough session. So, looks like the movements are a little bit more defined tonight, which is good, although that was just a big old plus sign, which we kind of despise. So we prefer not to stop the plus signs on the chart because that's went a long way in one direction, went a long way in the other direction, ended up right where it started. So anyway, hope you're doing well tonight. I'll kind of stay in music and trading mode until we get a little bit bigger crowd and some new folks with questions and stuff like that. So welcome. Hope you do well tonight. Good luck on the trading, and yeah, I will be back as soon as we get some questions in the chat.
But if you don't wanna tell me now, I guess I'll never know. Losing almost all my energy. stretch it, I get to remember it. Then I see my bed is empty on one side, back in the sheet, the only place I can hide. In the morning, I'm wondering how I'm gonna get through the night. Sick and weary, and only your love's gonna make it right.
I'm not sure what you mean, Carlos. Did BTC View updated differently? BTC View. Trading View update differently. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what that's referring to. So I don't notice. I don't notice anything different on anything on my screen. So I'm not sure.
Sick and weary, and only your love's gonna make it right. Yeah, only your love, only your love, only your love, only your love. Just a little, take me along the way. Won't you visit? Won't you stop by to stay? I'm a better man with your love than without. In the cell, I may never make it out. And in the morning, I'm wondering how I'm gonna get through the night. I'm sick and weary, only your love's gonna make it right. Yeah, only your love, only your love. 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 Only your love, only your love.
I want to welcome all of you who are new to this channel, who might be joining us for the first time. Welcome. We're building a community dedicated to learning more and kind of growing together as traders on predictive markets, but in markets in general, and becoming more financially literate. So we're here to support each other, encourage each other, and try some things, test strategies, all kinds of stuff. So welcome. If you have any questions, just let me know. I'm about to go into trading mode when I don't talk. So if you leave me a question, I'm happy to answer it once I get back.
stuck in a prison of doubt. In this distortion, and everything is growing up tight. There's no room to breathe, and nobody is watching at night. Who wanna rise up? Need a friend to shake me out again. Need a friend to shake me out again. I don't know if I can find my way out. In this distortion, and everything is growing up tight. There's no room to breathe. Fall into the ocean. I'm reaching out, I'm reaching in. The water is rising over me. The water is rising. It's coming. I'm reaching out, I'm reaching in. The water is rising over me. The water is rising. I'm reaching. It's coming. I'm reaching. The water is rising over me. I'm reaching out, I'm reaching. It's coming in. The water is rising over me. I'm reaching out, I'm reaching. It's coming.
All right, so first win of the night. Good way to get things started, and hopefully that's the first of many this evening. So again, welcoming everybody in. I hope you're doing well tonight. Just hopefully a relaxing evening of chatting about these markets. Hopefully getting a little bit better, a little bit smarter. Our motto is slowly but surely, wiser and wealthier. And yeah, if you have any questions about the strategy that I'm currently trading or really anything, you definitely will help me um, talk. It's definitely challenging to just fill up the space with words. But if there's questions, it makes it a lot easier. So feel free to ask questions if you have any, and I will be happy to answer them. Yeah, so it's going to be hopefully a little bit more stable evening of trading, and I'm looking forward to it. again, I was pretty happy to kind of break even earlier today, even though the conditions were kind of diabolical for most of that session. So, did the strategy switched up from 80 to 95? Dr. Fizz got 5 on that one. No, so I'm basically I was doing 89, but I decided um, that I want to be able to get in up to 94. So I'm bidding at 94. It's probably going to place me, um, as soon as it crosses over 85, I'll be able to get like 86 or whatever. But if it goes up early and stays up and looks like I think I want to be able to just get in same amount of contracts, just be a smaller win and let those small wins rack up as well. And I think I'll be able to get in most markets at a 94 threshold at the 7-minute mark. It would have to be a super duper runaway to miss on that one. So yeah, that's a slight increase. I was just limiting it to 89, but we're up to 90. We're going to 94, but I still think most of my entries will be between 85 and 90 most of the time. How often are you live? I am live twice a day for 3 to 4 hours, usually, both times. I usually do an afternoon session on the West Coast here from noon to 4 p.m. And then I do an evening session from about 8 to midnight, somewhere in there. I don't always do the whole time, but that's the time frame that I'm live. And I'm live twice a day, every day. So down 150. That's rough, man. I've been there. Oh, you're in Cali too? Yeah, I'm in Northern California on the coast in the Redwoods. So I'm basically almost Oregon. I'm on the border with Oregon where I'm at. I don't know how you don't have more views. Well, we're just starting. My channel is new. I don't know how I have this many, to be honest. We're just getting started, and people are just finding out about us, and we're growing super fast. So, yeah, it's happening pretty fast. So I'm happy about that, and I think it's just a matter of time. I think we are providing a nice space. Kind, friendly, honest, open, to share ideas, to try things, to discuss strategy and what's working for people, what's not working, all that good stuff. So I think up 7K down. You're in LA. Okay, cool. Yeah, I've only been to LA once, and that was enough for me. I'm a country guy. I like the wide open spaces, and I can't see any of my neighbors. Like I'm in the forest, and it's just me and my cats. So yeah. Brian asks, can you briefly describe your strategy? Thank you for the question, Brian. It's a great opportunity to do so. I know there's people lurking in the chat that want to know that, so I'll be happy to do that. It's pretty simple, and right now I'm trading. I'm getting ready to program this strategy into a trading bot. So I'm trading very exactly how the bot would trade it, and trying to tweak things to make them as good as they can be. The basic rules of the bot is I cannot enter until 7 minutes is the earliest. 7 minutes to go. I can't enter before then. When I do enter, I enter if one side has to be at least 85. So I'm getting in most of the time when the price is 85 to 90. That's my normal entry. I'm trying to scalp 10 cents. So once I get in, I immediately set my take profit at 10 cents profit. And I also get ready to do a stop loss, and my current stop loss is 50 cents. So it's really important when you're doing high probability scalping. You have to have a stop loss so that you limit your losses. That helps to keep you profitable. I cannot, the other rules is I cannot get in if I'm not in already by the 3 minute mark. If there's 3 minutes to go and I don't have a position, I'm done. If I have a position, I have to be out regardless at the 2 minute mark. So, yeah, that's basically the rules of the bot. And yeah, I have a video. My most recent video is about 18 minutes long. It's a thorough breakdown of all the things I'm using, basically the full idea of what my strategy is. But it's just high probability scalping. And I think the main thing is knowing, because Kalshi will not let you do a stop loss ahead of time. You can't set it, like in trading, if I'm buying Bitcoin on Coinbase or whatever, I can do a take profit and a stop loss. So if it hits either way, it automatically cashes out. I can do a take profit on Kalshi, but if I try to put a stop loss on the board, it'll just cash me out right at that moment at the best possible price. So what I have to do is kind of be ready to press a button as soon as I see it gets to 50 cents. So, and the main stuff with this strategy is, you want to sit out really unstable markets. You want to know how to do a good loss and use that stop loss when, as soon as you see your number hit, you got to get out. And no revenge trading. If you lose, it doesn't mean you do anything different the next time. It's just back to the strategy. So very much trading like a bot these days as I attempt to codify what I'm doing. Let's see. Okay, Pick 6 hates it in LA. Yeah. Up 20% today, baby. Lock on, third winning day in a row. Also scalping for 10 cents a trade, but I'm entering as soon as the trade opens with the current trend, looking for continuation. Yeah, especially in these conditions, that's a legitimate strategy for sure. 1 minute left. Go straight up or down. Yeah, it would be nice if they added the bracket orders or a stop loss feature for sure, so it don't have to be done manually. Yeah, that's our big push. If we get big enough as a community here and this channel blows up, and Kalshi wants to, be a part of it and market through this, we would say, hey, how about a stop loss? can we get a stop loss here? Because that's really the only beef I have with Kalshi. I enjoy, sometimes the site is laggy and, the user experience can sometimes be a little, but they're getting better. And, but the stop loss is the one thing I wish they had that stop loss so much. It would make my life so easy. I just put the numbers in, sit back, relax, But I got to get into, when I'm in trading mode, I try not to talk because I'm a terrible trader when I talk. So Carlos is the captain of our locking in community here. So if I don't shut up real soon, Carlos is going to yell at me to lock in. So I got to get focused here, and I'll do my trade. As soon as I'm done, I'll be back.
take all our life to explain that it's more beautiful when you're here. I remember the light when it turned around and revealed all the truth, no escape. Oh, ain't plain. Say it like it is this time for me to hear. Suddenly you felt all alone again, even in crowded rooms with all your friends. Where goes the time? All in front of you. Where goes the time? Still in front of you. Say it like it is this time for me to hear. Suddenly you felt all alone again, even in crowded rooms all around friends. Say it, it's unbreakable through it all and more. Don't fret now, I'm not leaving you alone. Won't leave you now or through later days.
Another day, another break in the promise was always a pattern of mine. It's the way that I learned that the game was only a matter of time. And I pray that I don't have to pay for it yet, but I'm willing to gamble on a bet. I'm willing to forgive and forget. Say one thing to me and another and swear it's over the best. Cut all the toxic people telling me to give it a rest. I'm not too sensitive, you just don't have a heart. But I continue to enter the ring while I'm falling apart. It's a habit I wanna break, like a thieving bandit is on display. And you pull me in and I can't look away. Nothing matters, it's a pattern. Oh well, didn't mean to.
All right, so my bot protocol is at 3 minutes. If it hasn't reached 85, I'm out. So it got kind of close there, but yeah, I'm super glad that the protocol I've got going right now kept me out of that one because I really have no interest in that market. Um, once it gets inside 2 minutes, I'm out. It's just too the price can change so fast or the value of your shares can change so fast at the end of the market. So I tend to avoid the last 2 minutes just for my strategy. So pick six, I just want to talk to you for a minute. If you could read the second rule on the screen, and I'll catch up on the chat here in a minute. So we don't do picks in here. It's kind of a strict rule of ours. We only have two rules: be kind, and if you're going to do a pick, if you're going to share a pick, or have an opinion about where people should go, you have to talk about the strategy that you're using to make that pick. We're here to learn and to grow as traders, and we always welcome people sharing their victories and their losses, and what's working for them. But we do encourage people to talk about strategy, talk about why they're making that pick. And if it's just flipping a coin, that's that's fine. But what we're hoping to do here is not have it be the Kalshi chat, which is just a mess of people saying what they think is going to happen. If you want that, it's available already. It's already on the chat underneath this market. So if you could, we'll just avoid that. But you're always welcome to tell us, what strategy you're using and what's working about it. So, are you going to do sports? I really don't do sports. Sometimes, when the NFL and the NBA are around, I'll sometimes do under-over and use the same kind of strategy. But I really do, for this channel and in general, I prefer the stability and kind of like not predictability. It's kind of hard to predict this thing, but I like that this happens every 15 minutes. There's a lot of liquidity. It's a very popular market on Kalshi. So we have talked about doing Ethereum Thursdays, or one of the altcoins as like an occasional change of pace, something different. But in general, I think most people want this market, so we do this market. I do love the fact that deposits and withdrawals are instant on Kalshi, unlike other methods of trading with brokerages or prop firms that take hours or even days for withdrawals to be approved and arrive. Yeah, I agree immediately. When I put money in, it's there right away. Dr. Fizz with a win. Nice. Oh, no worries, pick six. I just I put that on the screen because it's just something we're working on. It could very easily turn into the chat being just what it is on Kalshi, and we just don't want that. So, okay, I should have put all in when it went down. Yeah, yeah. If you're doing all in, you probably need to take a nap. Like, you're no longer investing. You've entered a whole different realm. What works for me is if it's already down 45 with 2 minutes left, it's real hard for it to spike back up if it's already going down. All right. Sounds like a plan. Yeah, so there's a lot of strategies that get shared in here, and we're kind of looking. We're talking about a couple alternatives to this strategy that I wouldn't mind if somebody in the community want to explore and like do some testing on, run it for a few weeks and see how they do. One is when it's volatile, buying the low side early. So first side to go to like 40 or 35 or whatever, and then scalping that. No stop loss until, late in the market. But just trying to get it back to 50, get a 10-cent profit, or 60 probably at the most. So that's one strategy I think that's very similar. If the market is up and down and up and down, there's a high probability that your 40 cents will at least at some point get to 50 cents. So that's another strategy that I think is reasonable for kind of high probability scalping. And the other one we're talking about exploring is the combo. Because the altcoins so often follow Bitcoin, I haven't tested this yet, but it is a theory of mine and something I would like to explore. Maybe have a bot do a back test on it, or just run a test in real time over a few months to see how it goes. But having some strategy where when Bitcoin is at 80 cents, buy all the altcoins at the same side and see how that goes. I wonder if that would be profitable. So anyway, yeah, it's more dangerous because all it would take is one of them to not go in the right direction to lose. But I'm curious, because the altcoins follow Bitcoin so often, how that strategy would work. And maybe you don't do all the altcoins, but you do Ethereum and Solana, maybe, and just increase your profits, and just see how that would work. So I'm just curious about that. And there's other things we talk about as strategies. Let's see here. The beauty of these 15-minute trades is you don't have to even be correct about the direction necessarily, but the probability of the volatility moving the price by just a few cents back and forth, right? I was about to say, I don't think he meant that. This is what I love about trading, and try to tell everybody: there's dozens of markets and instruments you can trade, and no limit to the number of strategies you can trade. There is no right or wrong. It's about finding what works for you. It's about finding what works for you personally. And I don't know why the stream is kind of buffering so much tonight. I don't know why the stream is buffering so much tonight. I apologize for that. Oh, dear Lord. Yeah, so anyway, it's hard to, I shouldn't be talking if it's going to buffer like this, but I absolutely agree, Gamma. There is no right or wrong. There's many strategies that will work. You want something that works for your personality, that works for your level of risk tolerance. But at the end of the day, if you can mathematically have your wins, or where you take profit, exceed the amount of times you lose and the amount you lose, you're profitable. So you can do this many different ways. There's many different strategies you can do, and you just have to, and also different strategies will work better, and also different strategies will work better in different market conditions. So anyway, not sure why we're buffering like crazy tonight. Yeah, so just for a little while, I'm about to get into trading mode. I'll be back.
You say you need your space, then pull me close. I read your silence, louder than most. One day you're warm, the next day you're cold. Got me second guessing what I already know. I give you love, but you ration yours. You open up just to close the door. I stay up late, trying to read your mind. I can't read your mind, but your love got rules that change all the time. Why are you always halfway in? Got me drowning when I know I could swim. If you love me, baby, say it with your chest. Yeah, tired of the maybes, I just want the yes. Don't play me like a song on spin. If you ride for me, then ride to the end. Don't wanna love this paper thin. So why you always halfway in? You hit me up when the nights get slow, but then disappear when the highs get low. I ain't your maybe. Tell me what it is, 'cause I'm way too grown to be messing with a love like this. I give you love, but you're rushing yours. You open up just to close the door. You stay closing doors. I stay up late trying to read your mind. I can't read your mind, but your love got rules that change all the time. Changing all the time. Why are you always halfway in? Got me drowning when I know I could swim. If you love me, baby, say it with your chest. Yeah, tired of the maybes, I just want the yes. Don't play me like a song on spin. If you ride for me, then ride to the end. Don't wanna love this paper thin. So why you always halfway in? Why you always halfway in? Got me drowning when I know I could swim. If you love me, baby, say it with your chest. Yeah, tired of the maybes, I just want the yes. Don't play me like a song on spin. If you ride for me, then ride to the end. Don't wanna love this paper thin. So why you always halfway in? Halfway in.
Porch light flicker on the siding, moths dancing like they know the tune. Porch light flicker on the siding, moths dancing like they know the tune. Every breath feels borrowed, but tonight the world's in tune. Chair arms beneath me, plank boards keep the time. Old chair arms beneath me, plank boards keep the time. If this sound ain't perfect, that's how it's mine. Someone left the radio humming low next door. Someone left the radio humming low next door. Static sings the harmony. I couldn't ask for more. Let the porch light burn uneven. Let the shadows play. Yeah, the porch light burn uneven. Keep the night from drifting away. If this ain't heaven, it'll do for today.
Bring me into golden sunlight. If I'm going with you, I know we'll get to the other side. Sinking in, I know this feels right.
So yeah, we have 3 teams in the chat that focus on 3 different activities. We've got Carlos is the captain of lock-in team. And lock-in team's role is if I'm still talking with about like 8 minutes to go, I'm supposed to stop talking and focus on trading at about 7 minutes, 30 seconds, somewhere in there. So it's always encouraged if you feel the need to yell at me, lock in. It's always appreciated, and but yeah, Carlos is the captain of that team and always accepting new participants in that activity. The other one is captained by Serge, and that's the engagement team. So I always appreciate when I'm not the only one encouraging people to like the stream and spam the emojis and comment and all that good stuff. So it definitely helps the stream grow, and that brings more people in, gives us more of a base of knowledge in the room, which is always great. And finally, I'm looking for people to, they don't have anybody on this team yet, need a captain for this team. People who are able to politely say, please read the rules on the screen. Be kind, but the main one that we're going to be having to talk to people about is we don't ask for picks in the chat, and we don't make picks unless we're sharing what strategy we're using to make those picks. We don't want this chat to turn into the Kalshi chat, where it's just everybody saying what they think is going to happen. That will just be spam in our chat, and we want it to be filled with thoughtful reflections on things that could be helpful to other people in the room. So anyway, I'd like people, if you feel like you're good at kind of politically correctly, nicely, kindly directing people, that we don't do that in the chat. I would love to have more people doing that. So what's up, Los? How's it going, man? So yeah, we locked in. We got a win there. And I do apologize for if there's a bunch of just cutting out. I don't know what's happening. There's something weird going on. I'm kind of tempted to restart the stream because I think there's something with my streaming software that's a little off. But I don't know. We'll see. No gurus. Yeah. High probability strategies and discussing, if something's working for you and you're willing to share it with the chat, please do that. Like, that's exactly what we want to be doing here. If you've got something that's working and you want to share the details of how that works for you, please do so. If you want to talk about, how your day is going, anything like that, absolutely. If you want to talk about how the market is, treating you good or bad or anything like that, absolutely. Well, we just don't want it to become like, just a bunch of people yelling up and down, and this is definitely for educational purposes, and we want to keep it that way. And my stuff is on the board as like a teaching tool, like just to talk about the strategy that I'm currently using, just as an example. And I think it's a very good point that Gamma made earlier, that there are many strategies that will work. You just have to find one that works for you personally and stick to it. That's the biggest thing. And you have to, once you are convinced it's profitable, and and that's the big one for me. I love to well, maybe I should try doing that. Stop. Walk away from the computer, go for a walk, because what I've found is if I stick to my strategy, I'm profitable. As soon as I get away from my strategy, I lose, and lose badly. So I'm always open to new ideas and, experimenting with stuff, on the side to just see if it's a better strategy for me. But I've been doing this for a year. It's not like I'm an old pro or anything, but I've been doing it long enough to know that this strategy that I use works well for me. It works well for my personality. It works well for my tolerance for anxiety. So it just works for me. It doesn't mean my way is the only way. Da-da-da-da. Is my strategy bad? I buy any side at around 20 to 30%. Let me back up here. I buy any side at around 20 to 30% and cash out for any profit. I mean, Braden, I think that's a legitimate strategy for sure. And especially if you're taking small wins in that space. Because you're getting in at a very small risk. So 20 to 30, the worst you can lose is that 20 or 30 per contract. And yeah, with any strategy, whatever you're doing, as long as when you lose, the amount of wins you get covers those losses. That's it. That's all you have to do. So if you can consistently do that and come out positive, then it's a legitimate strategy. Can you give a quick explanation of your strategy? David, I'd be happy to. Thank you for the question. And after I give the explanation, I also have a 18-minute video that's very detailed in case I miss anything right now. And I have 3 minutes before I have 2 minutes before Carlos starts yelling at me to lock in. So I gotta make this quick. All right. So very simply, I'm trying to prepare for a bot, to create a bot to trade this strategy. So I'm getting very regimented in how I do it so I can test to see if it'll work as a bot. I'm basically acting as a bot to trade my strategy. I can't get in until the 7-minute mark no matter what. So that's the hard rule. No trading before 7 minutes to go. Once there's a side that gets to 85 cents after 7 minutes, I can get in. I'm doing the same amount of contracts on every, and for testing, I'm just doing 5 contracts right now. I can get in at 85 to 94. That's my range. I can get in anywhere in there. I immediately set take profit at 10 cents if it's available, or 99 cents as a max. And then I get ready to do a stop loss. And my stop loss, Kalshi won't let you set one up ahead of time. So I just get ready to sell at 20 cents whenever it hits 50 cents. And basically, Kalshi will just give me the best price above 20 cents. So it'll probably be more like 40 to 50 cents is my stop loss. And I just do the 20 cents because if it does zoom right past 20 cents, I'd rather just stay in the market and have a lottery ticket to just, win in another reversal at the end. So the only other bit is at 3 minutes, if I don't have a position, I have to get out. I can't get in anymore. And if I have a position at 2 minutes, I have to get out. There's the full thing. I got to get going before I get yelled at. All right. So I preach this all the time. For my strategy to be effective and profitable, I have to be very good at being committed to taking a stop loss. So as soon as it hits 50, my bot would do a stop loss and I'm doing a stop loss. As soon as I see 49, I'm out. And so even though I sold at, I did a stop loss at 20 cents, it didn't give me 20 cents. The current price when I sold was like 40, in the 40s somewhere. So it gave me that price. I just do 20 so I make sure I don't get passed by when it moves fast the other way. And I don't care how this ends up now. In fact, it doesn't matter. Like, my strategy is over. I can relax. Like, I'm not going to beat myself up if it ends up going one way or the other. It doesn't matter to me. And that's really important to develop as a skill, I think, especially if you're trading high probability positions where relative to what you make, you can lose a lot. If I were to let have no stop loss and my 85 cent or 90 cent position loses, it's going to take me 9 wins in a row to make up that loss. However, if I have a stop loss at 50 cents, I'm kind of guaranteeing only half of a loss. And so then it only takes like 4 or 5 wins for me to make it up. And, my strategy has a 80 to 90% win rate. So I just learned that, and this is, any trader will tell you this, that's good at trading, is like, you have to be good at taking a stop loss. And it's got to be about the process and not the results. Once you determine what your strategy is, you got to stick to it. And so that's where I'm at right now. I'm getting a lot better at that. I'm basically just in bleep blorp mode. I'm just, bot trading. And all I have to do is, if I see a certain thing, I have to press a button. That's all there is. So, David, you're welcome. I'm glad I was able to pass that on to you. And like I said, I got a video. My most recent video is all about this strategy. Now I'm just trying to. The next video will be about the process of turning that strategy into a trading bot, and just, that's what I'm all about. Is I don't want to sell a trading bot or, like, have people rely on my trading bot. I want to teach people how to make their own trading bot. Like, it's not that hard. AI makes it super easy. So, or at least possible for, like, I don't know anything about computer programming, but have been able to successfully program 2 bots that did exactly what I wanted them to do. And, there's websites dedicated solely to that. There's Cursor, I think Codex, Claude Code. I'm sure Chat. I think all of them probably have ChatGPT, and all those have a coding like wing that's, AI for coding. And so yeah. But I think where I'm at right now is I want to have a strategy that I'm super confident in before I put the effort in of programming the bot. So I bought up at 14%. No way it worked again. Well, in volatile conditions, I mean, it's a very legitimate strategy. So, and probably less risky than what I'm doing in volatile conditions. Because if I lose, it sets me back, a while. If you lose, it's just part of the deal. Like, you've only got a smaller probability of it rising significantly. But in these conditions, it's, especially if you get in early, if you can get in early at like 20 cents, if it goes really fast in one direction, what goes up must come down, and vice versa. Like, those can be really good positions to get in. The order book can be very helpful in determining if there's going to be a bounce back as well. So if anybody has any questions about how to read the order book, that is that would be very helpful to know how to do if you're going to buy low and scalp a small jump. But yeah, so it's not sexy to, you know, to lose, but I tell you what, like being good at taking a stop loss is super helpful because you know, it saved me. I don't have to win as much to get back to break even now. I was in I got a position reversed on me. It happens, you know. These markets are like that. It happens from time to time. But I do know that most of the time I'm going to win. And yesterday my record was 17-1-1. One break even, one loss, 17 wins. So a highly profitable day. And yeah, so and my bad days are pretty, you know, pretty mellow. There's not huge loss days with this strategy. So, all right. These markets usually get manipulated around 11 p.m., 1 a.m. on Eastern time. So I only trade around those times. Carlos lost $3. Dang. Would you stay in on that one? Did you not do the stop loss, bro? Come on, man. I mean, I lost $2, so yeah. It was a loser of a market for this strategy for sure. But relative to my wins, you know, it wouldn't take me long to recover. So that's kind of the key. If you're doing high probability stuff, the stop loss is your best friend because it could have easily taken me like 8 or 9 wins in a row to make up the loss, but because I have a stop loss, it's like half of that. So, oh no, Carlos. Yeah, it's hard to do. I mean, everything in your being is like, just hold on, it's gonna reverse. Like, God, don't, you know. But that's super stressful and opens up the possibility of the huge loss. And the only thing that will ruin this strategy is if you take the huge losses, like, and you don't have a stop loss. It's hard to do, but probably the most important skill to cultivate, to grow. So, how much have you made from your strategy so far? Well, this time around, just using this strategy, uh, I've tripled my bankroll. So I'm now in kind of just getting ready to go into programming a bot. So this is more like research and analysis. But since I just started doing just this strategy and nothing else, the bankroll is triple what it was. So it works, but it's very slow and methodical, you know. And you can raise the amount of contracts as your bankroll grows, but not before, you know, not until the bankroll grows enough to expand. So right now I'm just making sure that the specific parameters I'm doing will make it through a week and be profitable, and I'll see if there's anything that needs to be adjusted. The main one being some kind of formula for the bot to know it's too volatile for the current distance away from the strike and the current amount of time left. That is a hard formula to create and figure out how to do. I'm trying to avoid having to do that by just creating a strategy that works all that in to the numbers, but I may have to work with AI to come up with some kind of a formula about, you know, I don't know, how much volatility in the past hour, like how much has it moved away from the current strike in either direction in the last hour. And yeah, just have some kind of shut off that the bot knows too volatile, time to shut it down. take a break. But yeah, I don't have that in the bot currently, except I do because the pricing is very close to probability. We have a lot of bots trading this market, and so the current price on Kalshi is actually a very good ongoing barometer of probability. And so waiting until 85 cents helps a lot to reduce the loss percentage, and waiting until there's less time left also helps the win percentage. And not being able to get in at the 3 minute mark or after, and having to get out at the 2 minute mark. Those are all designed to keep me out of, like, really, really bad situations. And my really bad situation is like a plus sign on the candle chart, when it's like it went up, it went down, it came back to where it was. That is diabolical to this strategy that I'm doing. All right, a question from Los. What is stop loss? What time you pull out? What price? I just bought up at 13% and sold at 34%. I never hold till the end. All right. Los. So stop loss is the point that you decide that it's too risky, it's time to get out. Like, the price, it moved from being like a sure thing to like a coin flip. You don't know. For me, that's 50 cents. If I get in at 85 and it goes to 50, I'm out. I don't care what happens after that. And so I sell. I set up my screen to sell right at that moment. Because Kalshi doesn't allow you to do a stop loss ahead of time. So you have to kind of manually do it. That's a nice thing about when I program the bot will do it in a millisecond, like, boom, as soon as it crosses the 50 cents. I have to press a button. But anyway, stop loss is just, you have a point where you say to yourself, whatever it is, you can decide where that is for you. But where you've lost your edge, you no longer have an edge anymore, your position is compromised, don't take the full loss, get out. And if it ends up being you would have won if you stayed in, so what? Like, you didn't have your edge anymore. And a trader doesn't stay in a position that doesn't have an edge. All right, so back to trading. I'm probably going to get yelled at if I don't do this real quick. All right, bye.
Don't know if I can find my way out. In this tiny and everything is gone up.
So for my strategy, I would consider the current dynamics of this market diabolical. Just so 2 stop loss in a row, no bueno. It's very rare for my strategy, but hey, it happens. And nothing changes. I don't do anything different. Like as tempting as it may be, Now, if I'm trading manually, not testing my bot, I might just take a break here. If I wasn't hosting a live, might just take a break here and step away, let the market kind of chill out a little bit. But let's see. What is the stop loss? Okay, what time? 3 minutes usually? Yeah, it's not really minutes. It's about, if you're still between the 2 to 7 minute and you already got your stop loss at 20 cents, then it jumps between 85 to 95 again. Would you bid in again or just take the loss in the market and wait for the next one? Currently, I would just take the loss and not throw good money after bad, like not try to recover in that market because that market has already betrayed me once. I don't need to make it worse. Yeah, so what I'm getting real good at, it's real helpful as a host of a stream, like not emotional at all. I have no emotional reaction to the 2 stop losses in a row. Only proud of myself for doing the strategy, sticking to it. Because instead of 2 complete losses, I had 2 stop losses. I limited the damage. But yeah, I won't get in because it's going to be late in the market when I do get in, and I'm already in a volatile situation. I'm already, yeah. So I think the bot strategy for this is, take the L, breathe, and reevaluate. And now this might be something like, for programming the bot, it might be, you take 2 stop losses in a row. This might be time to take a little break and just see how the next couple markets go. But I haven't gotten there yet as to what the strategy is for determining when the market is not conducive to this strategy and having the formula for the bot to know that. It would also just be helpful for me to know that formula personally, so I get a sense of when it's time to just chill out and not even engage in the market. So yes, thank you, Carlos, for all your support in the chat, answering people's questions. I appreciate it. Especially when I'm in silent mode, focused on trading. I really appreciate that. But yeah, so that's rough. That's a rough couple right in a row right there. So, but yeah, I'm in bot training mode, so it doesn't really even faze me. It's like, this is just learning for me. This is just testing. And what it does make me start to think is, okay, how would the bot have kind of sensed that this was bad? I think it might be something to do with how often it's crossed the line in the last hour, of the price of the current market. How often has that price been crossed up or down in the last hour? And if it's more than, I don't know what the number is, but if it's more than 3 or 4, probably it's dangerous. That means that you got a choppy market. It's going up and down. It may not be 3 or 4. It may be more than that, but that's at least a starting theory to test. And that may be something I test with a bot, that I program a bot to just run a scenario and try to predict, when an 85-cent position has a less than 85% probability of being effective. So that's one of the challenges of bot programming, is translating your gut instinct and all that stuff into actual numbers that a bot can actually trade. So that's the goal of what I'm doing right now. It has very little to do with using all of my skills as a trader. It's more like kind of hampering myself, because that's what a bot would need to. It would need to have very specific direction on how to execute the strategy. So I'm just trying to see if I can do that and be profitable. And yeah, the main thing I'm trying to figure out from tonight is how to avoid, what's happened in the last little bit. One thing also to consider is it touched the Bollinger Band and then bounced up right away. Like it hit the band and the lower band and bounced right up. And that can sometimes happen. That might be something to have in the strategy with the bot, is like, if we cross the band, or the RSI is above or below 3070, that you can't trade that market. You got to sit out, So people are liking the Braden strategy. Buy low. I mean, for this market currently, excellent strategy. Buy low, scalp profits. That's my, when it's like this, I highly recommend doing that. 40, basically when you see that the one side has petered out and is starting to stall, that's a great time to get in, because you kind of get a sense that there's a bounce back coming if the market is kind of choppy and moving up and down a lot. So it's definitely a legit strategy for especially these conditions. You have set thresholds to know what kind of market you're in. I don't know what that means. Remember to never get greedy and take those small wins. Yeah, that is always a good strategy. So yeah, I mean, that's one thing I've been saying the last couple of days. Do not necessarily follow my strategy right now. I'm doing something different. I'm training a bot. I'm trying to solidify a bot trading strategy. If I'm not doing a live, I'm probably not trading right now, with this strategy. If I'm doing anything, I'm doing what Braden's doing, which is buy the low side early. I like to buy it early because it gives it plenty of time to bounce. And I think it's important to be patient, though, until that initial kind of drop, or rise completes and it starts to work back, So you want to buy it kind of there when it starts to make its move back. And the order book can give you some sense of when that's happening. So I would definitely say that Braden's strategy is better for what we're currently seeing than my traditional strategy, which does not work well in chaotic conditions. So, yep, I could have took it all, but bought at 18 and sold at 80. That's huge. Huge W. So I do recommend doing that as opposed to my high probability late in the market strategy. And yeah, I'll be testing this bot for the next week. So yeah, in these conditions, it's really too risky to use that. But I'm going to keep doing it anyway because I'm testing. So, but yeah, I would highly recommend everybody consider getting good at reading the order book, seeing when it's going to bounce back. When the order book gets real thick on one side and really thin on the other side, and that will tell you that it's going to tend to want to go in the thin direction. It's going to want to shoot toward the thin area. So that can be something really helpful to kind of get a sense. Do you like to be in Hold on. So yeah, is there a time frame that you like you want to be in early? Do you go in late sometimes? What is your as far as time goes, what do you go by? Is there any parameter in your strategy for time? Because my strategy would be buy around, if it goes really fast down, buy in the 20s, but more often it would be I would buy, 35, 40, somewhere in there. And I try to do that early, like right at the beginning of the market. I usually avoid going in when there's 7 minutes or less left yet. It's best to snipe a dip at the beginning. Yes, I agree with that. Absolutely. So yeah, and I am not locked in. I'm not trading right now, so I gotta get in and get locked in. I can hopefully do it while I'm talking, but yeah, I'm a little nervous about doing anything at this moment with this strategy, to be honest. Oh boy. So yeah, this will be just a small win for me if I get in. So yeah, that's a legit strategy. I'd highly recommend others, work on that. Either you can do, the Braden strategy, which is don't buy unless it's below 25. That's, I mean, that works, especially if it's like really volatile. Um, but yeah, mine would be more like get in on the low side when it's like 35, 40 really early on, the first minute or two. And especially if you see like kind of choppy, staying close to the line and choppy. Right now, we got kind of a runaway going on, and kind of a defined pattern of within the Bollinger Bands, uh, dropping down to the bottom Bollinger Band, rising up to the top one, dropping down to the bottom one. So we got a very distinct pattern developing right now, and so that's something to just keep an eye on. Uh, we definitely are in an uptrend at the moment. But yeah, if I'm trading just on my own without a live right now, and I'm not training a bot, not testing a bot, I would be doing something closer to what Braden's doing than what my bot is currently doing, just because of the conditions. But this will be one market where buying the low side, it may work out, but this one kind of ran away quick and may not come back. So this is a market that's diabolical for the Braden strategy. So anyway, but the good thing about what Braden's doing is he's only going to lose 20 maximum like 25 cents per contract. So that's the nice thing about that strategy. You don't have to win as much to be profitable. Um, and I have to win a lot to be profitable on my strategy. Just cashed out at a loss. Yeah, I mean that's kind of the diabol. It's like really good for my strategy. I mean, not really good because I just made 25 cents, but like it's like almost like a guaranteed win for my strategy, but it's almost a guaranteed loss for the Braden strategy when it does that. So, what would really work for the Braden strategy, I'm sorry, it's not really the Braden strategy, but the strategy Braden is using is when it gets close to the Bollinger Bands, you got a sense that it's going to get choppy. And that's where that will really work well is when when it's rising toward the Bollinger Band, my strategy might do better, right? Because you got a very distinct pattern of up, and it's a longer period than 15 minutes. So anyway, that's where the chart reading can come in handy. I just use Bollinger Bands and RSI, but we definitely have a pattern forming that's very, when it touches the Bollinger Band, it is bouncing right off of it in both directions, staying very tight on those. When it hits those lines, it just bounces, or even gets close, it bounces. So, the Braden strategy right now, we're kind of rising off the bottom and going toward the top. It doesn't always happen that this pattern holds, but if it does hold, the Braden strategy, the strategy Braden is using will do really well, will tend to do better when it meets resistance and starts returning in the other direction. So, anyway, it's a great learning experience that not every strategy works in every condition. And you gotta kind of be able to read where the market is in the moment and what strategy is kind of like more suited to that. Is Kalshi BTC 15 minutes the only thing you trade? I tend to do it on the lives because it's so consistent. It's every 15 minutes. It's ongoing. I can do 6-8 hours of lives, same kind of content. It's also it's probably the most popular market on Kalshi, or at least getting there. Like, for example, this one's going to do almost 2 million in volume in 15 minutes. So it's highly liquid, and most people are interested in this market. But that being said, we've talked about doing like a Ethereum Thursday or a Solana Saturday or something like that to mix things up. I really don't mind trading other things because I think my strategy can be applied to other things as well. But yeah, I'm open to kind of whatever. I think BTC 15 is a good kind of base to start from. But yeah, I trade sports. I do all kinds of stuff. But when I'm live, it's right now just BTC 15. And we're talking about, having some, to mix it up and not be just stuck in a rut of doing the same thing over and over again, to have some variety, try the altcoins, do some other stuff occasionally. So that'll all be, determined by the community. If everybody is like, hey, yeah, we should do Ethereum, what do you think? Yeah, I'm fine with doing anything. I don't care. Like, but most people, when I start trading like Ethereum or Solana or whatever, are like, hey, can we go back to Bitcoin? It's like very often everybody's like, hey, the party's happening over here. Can we go back over here? I don't mind trading anything, but this is very popular, and yeah, a good place to kind of start from. All right, I've been talking for a while. I will keep an eye on the chat and answer any questions that come up. But yeah, let's keep an eye on. When does the buy low, scalp early work, and when does the buy late, scalp late work best? Because I think those two can work in tandem, and you can kind of do both if you're really good and really confident at reading the trend. If you're good at reading where the market is wanting to go. That can be challenging to do, but the best thing I got for that is the chart with the Bollinger Bands and RSI and the order book. Those are my best friends for riding early movement.
your space, then pull me close. I read your silence, louder than most. One day you're warm, the next day you're cold. Got me second guessing what I already know. I give you love, but you ration yours. You open up just to close the door. I stay up late, trying to read your mind. I can't read your mind, but your love got rules that change all the time. Why are you always halfway in? Got me drowning when I know I could swim. If you love me, baby, say it with your chest. Yeah, tired of the maybes, I just want the yes. Don't play me like a song on spin. If you ride for me, then ride to the end. Don't wanna love this paper thin. So why you always halfway in? You hit me up when the nights get slow, but then disappear when the highs get low. I ain't your maybe, tell me what it is, 'cause I'm way too grown to be messing with a love like this. I give you love, but you ration yours. You open up just to close the door. You stay closing doors. I stay up late, trying to read your mind. I can't read your mind, but your love got rules that change all the time. Why are you always halfway in? Got me drowning when I know I could swim. If you love me, baby, say it with your chest. Yeah, tired of the maybes, I just want the yes. Don't play me like a song on spin. If you ride for me, then ride to the end. Don't wanna love this paper thin. So why you always halfway in? Why you always halfway in? Got me drowning when I know I could swim. If you love me, baby, say it with your chest. Yeah, tired of the maybes, I just want the yes. Don't play me like a song on spin. If you ride for me, then ride to the end. Don't wanna love this paper thin. So why you always halfway in?
Porch light flicker on the siding, moths dancing like they know the tune. Porch light flicker on the siding, moths dancing like they know the tune. Every breath feels borrowed, but tonight the world's in tune. Chair hums beneath me, plank boards keep the time. Old chair hums beneath me, plank boards keep the time. If this sound ain't perfect, that's how it's mine. Someone left the radio humming low next door. Someone left the radio humming low next door. Static sings the harmony. I couldn't ask for more. Let the porch light burn uneven. Let the shadows play. Yeah, the porch light burn uneven. Keep the night from drifting away. If this ain't heaven.
So, the Man City, are you still in the chat right now? So, I wanted to ask you about something you commented earlier. I think that's the big thing. I'm seeing an opportunity here to do a kind of a dual bot strategy. Like, I basically want my bot to sit out when it's too volatile and switch to more like what Braden's doing, which I consider my like secondary strategy when it's really volatile. So I'm wondering, that's I don't know if anybody in the room can help me think through. What would I tell the bot? How would I have the bot determine that the market is too volatile for my high probability scalping at the end of the market strategy? We're definitely kind of in that place right now. Has something to do with volume, has something to do with volatility, but Corn's been doing the hourly. How's that been going? What's up, Serge? So anyway, yeah, I'm open to hearing feedback. Yeah, I know, dude. I put it on the screen. That kind of helps. So, um, yeah. So that's I think the thing I want to focus on. I may have a bot start to do some studying, running stats on it. But just like how to have the bot know, oh, it's too, and not even just the bot, but have us as traders know it's too volatile to do the high probability at the end of the market scalping. Time to shift to an alternate strategy. And that's the main question on my mind right now, and how to figure that one out. All right, let's see. Found some sort of strategy, small wins, but consistent nonetheless. Up 118. Nice. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Yeah, if you got something that's working on the hour, that's great. My strategy is getting beat up tonight. The two losses. But even with all that, I've lost very little. It's like down slightly. So that's what I do like about this strategy of mine is like even when I'm getting beat up, my bottom line doesn't get beat up too bad. So and then there will be usually the wee hours of the morning and weekends is when my strategy shines the brightest. I shouldn't call it my strategy. The strategy I use, the high probability scalping. I know, you're right. Doesn't that complicate things too much for the bot? It can, unless I can figure out a formula that the bot can consistently read the market correctly and know it's too I kind of need to come up with that anyway because I want my bot to sit out if it's too volatile. I just need to figure out what the formula is to say it's too volatile. And I think the best one I can think of is how often it's crossed the line. So in the last hour, at our current price, and we have to get a current price. Kalshi's getting better. It's auto forwarding to the next market. That's good. And sometimes the strike comes up or the target price. And so if we look at this 1 hour, okay, so that's helpful. It hasn't. This is the first time it's crossed this threshold in an hour, right? So we're not really in choppy conditions at the moment. We're on an uptrend, and the chart tells us that as well. So decent conditions actually for my strategy at the moment. The strategy I'm using. But yeah, so that may be what I use. How often has it chopped on this line? And if it's like more than 3, it's probably time to sit out and take a break, like. But that's just a theory. I would need to test that with back testing and forward testing and all that. But it's a decent it's a decent starting place as to what would be too diabolical for my strategy. So you don't have to be looking at your computer or phone to trade because the bot is doing it all for you. Once you've worked out all the bugs, you feel like you're totally confident, you've tested it, you've run it in real time with low amounts, it worked well, and you do that for like a few weeks, and like, okay, I feel I can finally let it go. Then you can start letting it run overnight on its own. And then, if you're running errands, it runs on its own. And you basically just hand it over to, you have to have a VPN, you have to have a private network that you just hand it over to. It sits on the server and runs on the server without you being on your phone or your computer. You can actually see it doing its work on Kalshi. You can watch it bidding and doing all that stuff. But you don't have to be on the computer. You don't have to be on your phone for it to work. So, yeah. Okay, how do you create one, or is it too complicated to answer? No, I mean, it's not complicated, really. I mean, there's plenty of services now that are just like, come, our AI will code for you. And I used a site called Cursor. Cursor. I think it was like $20 a month for kind of unlimited chatting with the bot and working with the bot and, adjusting things. And it was well worth it. It took a while. We had to test it and retest it. But you can use Codex. You can use Claude Code. There's a bunch of sites that are dedicated to having AI assist you in coding, and that's the job that's being decimated by AI right now, is computer programming. So, but anyway, it's I wouldn't say it's super easy, but it's doable. I don't have any background in computer science or programming or anything like that, but I do have good communication skills, and I know what I want the bot to do. And so that's pretty much all you need, is to know very specifically what you want the bot to do. Know that the bot is the software that's working with you is going to do a very good job of getting it in a certain place, and you're going to have to work out the bugs from there. You're going to have to make some adjustments, test, make some more adjustments, test. That didn't work, make more. You're going to have to do that for a while to get it flawless, that you can trust it to do its own thing when you're not watching. But it is very doable. You can definitely do it. All I had was virtual private network through Vulture, and that cost me like $6 a month. And then and that put me right in Chicago. That's where Kalshi's servers are. So that put my bot was right next to Kalshi, basically, in physical proximity. And so, not that there's a huge delay anywhere else, but like, it's right there. So no delay at all. And so Cursor helped me do it. I also had Claude Pro. That's pretty affordable. So really, for like, $35 a month, you can pretty much have an expert coding with you, doing whatever you want to do. You have to get a Kalshi API, but the bot knows how to do all that stuff. You just tell the bot what you want and ask the bot to guide you through building it, or the AI chatbot to guide you through making it. So, do you usually do that, like letting it run without you looking at the market? Well, I have to trust the strategy completely, and I have to trust the bot completely. Once that happens, and that can take months before it does, I will turn it over overnight and let it run. But both of those things have to be true. And it can take months for that to be true, until you're like, okay, I've worked out all the bugs. I'm confident in this, and I'll let it run. And even then, I may feel better for a time to just only let it run while I'm awake so I can watch it and make sure it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. But there is a certain point where you can trust it and let it go, and it'll do, it'll do what you want it to do. But that can take some time depending on how complicated the code is. And some of these codes that I've heard, I'm kind of into the programming part of it now. And some of these codes are huge, like absolute monsters. They're very complicated and very complex, and you need a lot of, processing and data storage to be able to do it. But if you come up with a simple strategy and you can code it in fairly simple terms, you don't need to spend a lot of money or a lot of time to get it ready. So oh yeah. Oh God, you're right. Thank you.
Driving down the highway, doing 95 alone. Trying to reach you, call you, but you won't come to the phone. Remember me, said you'd be my heart's home. Yes, you were biding your turn to go. Oh, I really should've known. We were dynamite till we hit a red light. Then I see the signs. Oh, after all that time, this is it for us. You don't wanna try. Thought your love was real, but it's down for us. Now you can't decide. Oh, oh, oh. After all this time, this is it for us. Change your energy, yeah, you switch things up. Now you seem brand new to me. But was that even for? Was you playing your games? Was you really bored? No. I really should've known. We were dynamite till we hit a red light. Then I see the signs. Oh, after all that time, this is it for us. You don't wanna try. Thought your love was real, but it's down for us. Now you can't decide. Oh, 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 oh. After all this time, this is it for us. should've known. Ain't with dynamite till we hit a red light. Then I see the side. Oh, after all that time, this is it for us. You don't wanna try. Thought your love was real, but it's not for us. Now you can't decide. Oh, after all this time, this is it for us. Never really know what's going on. Look at me sometimes like all you want to do is run. Hear me out, hear me out. It's all the things you never show. There are the things I want to know. Secrets die in your heart so slow. But if you don't wanna tell me now, I guess I'll never know. Losing almost all my energy. It's getting hard to talk to you, and I'm the only one who speaks. It's all.
Yeah, got the lock-in twins, Carlos and Serge, keeping me on my toes. It's good because I was talking my way right through the trading on that one. So yeah, this is going to be a week of kind of contemplating how to code what I want to do. So it's kind of up and down so far. He ended not locking in. I guess that's why Carlos is he's the captain of the lock-in crew. I mean, there's a reason he's that, He's on it, That's his focus. That's what he does. But yeah, the more the merrier to yell lock in at me because I can't be missing my entry like that. Yeah, I think the most likes we ever got on a stream was 14, and so that's why I set the goal at 15. And boy, it makes a difference to have it on the screen. Just asking people. It's like I can only say it like once every couple hours and not feel like I'm beating people over the head with it. But just having it on the screen is just kind of a nice, consistent way to take care of that and remind people that helps because I forget to do that too. So big 13, rolling big with 13. All right, so it looks like we may start having some resistance to this uptrend. But this is where it gets a little bit more questionable. Do you use the Braden strategy? Let's just say right now we bought up at 24 cents, 25 cents. All right, so let's just mentally say we've got up 25 cents. Let's see if it gets to 35. Because that's another alternative strategy you could use. We've done it on the stream in the past. There's a lot of time left. We're still within the Bollinger Bands. The uptrend may not be done yet. So it's a decent time to try the in early and ride an uptrend. So we'll see if that works. Okay. Hello. What is this cool buy sell graphic? Is it a leading signal as it doesn't match the Kalshi price? Let's see. The cool buy sell graphic. Well, the white box is the real-time CF benchmarks RTI real-time index price. So that's that. I'm not sure. We've also got the Coinbase exchange on the board that's kind of in real time on TapeSurf. But yeah, I'm not sure. Oh boy. I got to catch up on some stuff. Is there a method to the hours and times you trade, or is it just what your schedule allows? No, my schedule is pretty flexible. I just think, yeah, for my day, the pacing of my day, um, yeah, I could see going to just doing evenings like this session we're doing right now, because my strategy works better when it's quieter and there's not news events like pushing the price in crazy directions. But yeah, I just try to do what works for my day. It's too sunny and warm out right now to work in my yard between like noon and 4. So I do the stream in the shade in my RV. Like I do it at that time because it works for me. And then the evening one I'd be trading anyway, like that's just when I'm trading. So oh yes, the white box. Okay. Yeah, that's CF Benchmarks website. If you Google CF Benchmarks Bitcoin real time index, all you have to do on their website is click on the 3 bars and choose screener. And then the first option will be Bitcoin. And just click on that. It'll give you the real time index for Bitcoin. I'm in and out of the stream for now since I'm trading on my phone, not the laptop. Yeah, dude, I put $20 and lost it all, and now I've got it back watching your stream. Oh, great. I love to hear that. Congrats. I'm trying to think of how I would uh, do your name in a kind of friendly, jovial way. Cantree? How about Can? Can I call you Can? That seems better than calling you Can't. Welcome, and I'm so glad to hear that you've bounced back. That's fantastic. I'm nearing lock-in mode. I got to be careful here. I could easily slide past it here. Sir just got a couple messages retracted. I don't know what happened there. All right, I'll get into lock-in mode. This one has kind of run away. Looks like we got resistance before the Bollinger Band on this one. But yeah, let me get locked in and get ready to trade this market.
Don't know if I can find my way out. I'm stuck in a prison of doubt. In this torsion.
to shake me out again. Need a friend to shake me out again. I don't know if I can find my way out. In this tiny and everything is growing up tight. Fall into the ocean. I'm reaching out, I'm reaching in. The water is rising over me. The water is rising. It's coming. I'm reaching out, I'm reaching in. The water is rising over me. The water is rising. I'm reaching. It's coming. I'm reaching. Water is rising over me. I'm reaching out, I'm reaching. It's coming in. Water is rising over me. I'm reaching out, I'm reaching. It's coming.
Can't wait to wake to your love in the morning. This simple thing that we do. Breathe in, breathe out with you.
It's Cantrell. Okay. All right. Well, welcome, Cantrell, if you're still here. And yeah, I go into silent mode when I'm in trading, but I come back when I'm done. So, hello to Sane. Let's go. Yeah, well, I'll just go with Sane on that one. Sanel or Sane. Welcome. Hope you're doing well tonight. After a couple kind of gut punch losses earlier, back on the winning side here, a couple in a row. But yeah, the buy low, scalp 20 cents or 15, 20, whatever, would have worked on that one as well. So Surge took a loss since it got so close to the target. If it was the bot, I would have probably stayed and profited. Yeah. Yeah, the bot stayed and profited. So, but that's the 50 cent take profit or stop loss. So I just stay and wait for 50 cents to hit. If it doesn't, I stay in, The only way for me to get out is take profit hits, 2 minutes hits, or it gets to 50 cents. That's it. But we hit the all-time record now from Sane is okay. Okay, that's good. We hit the all-time record, 15 likes on one of our streams. So thank you so much to everybody. South Africa. Cool. We're going international here. What time is it in South Africa right now? So yeah, I was a little nervous about that one. I don't blame you for doing a stop loss on that one. I was nervous about it the whole time. So been a lot of that tonight. It's been kind of dicey. So but we're back on the winning streak, the winning side here. All right, Cantrell, well, welcome. Glad to have you with us. If you have any questions, just let me know. The chat and myself are here to, we'll hopefully provide a supportive educational space for anybody that wants to learn more about this. And we're also open to people sharing their strategies. We don't share picks in here. We don't try to influence people on what they should do in an individual market. But, we are sharing strategies, talking about, the charts and the order books and the stuff we use to make our decisions, and we're trying to come together and share our best ideas, our best practices that work for us. And if we don't have those, it's a space to learn those things. So any and all questions are welcome. 7:30 in the morning. Great. I'm just out of high school, still trying to learn trading and stuff. Any tips, like strats or anything? Yeah, I mean, we're really focused in on Kalshi's predictive markets, but I think the stuff we're doing does apply to trading across the board, really, for anything you might trade. We're trying to, and I have there's an 18-minute video on my channel. It's the most recent video that gives a very detailed presentation of exactly what I'm doing right now and why I'm doing it and how I'm doing it, all that stuff. So if you have time later and feel like watching that video, it might give you at least a good starting place. But basically, we're trying to get in on a position that we feel is highly probable to move in the direction that favors us. So we're using the charts, we're using the order book, and we're trying to see where the market is moving. And all we're trying to do is they call it scalping, taking a small profit, not trying to get 100% or zero, but just trying to ride the momentum. Like, for example, if we bought at 60 cents right now on up, we got that, we own those contracts. We've got like 5 contracts on 60 cents. We might say, okay, I will sell at 70 cents. And so once it gets to 70, you sell, you made 10 cents profit on the contracts you had, right? So we're trading, we're not gambling. We're trying to find a solid position that we think is going to continue to move in that direction. For me, I try to find that late in the market so time becomes my ally. But yeah, I'm basically trading like a computer program right now because I'm trying to convert my strategy into a tradable bot program. So my strategy is very cut and dry right now. I can't get in until the 7-minute mark. After the 7-minute mark, I can only buy once one gets to 85 cents, which basically means 85% probability of winning. And all I'm trying to do is buy at 85, sell at 95. And if it gets to 50 cents, I got to sell there and take the loss. That's called a stop loss. And so I'm trying to get 10 cent profit on my contracts. And if it goes against me, I lose my edge. My position is no longer highly favorable. Then I sell at 50 cents. It may end up being a winning position that I sold, but it doesn't matter. That's not my strategy. My strategy is very simple, and a bot could trade it, you know. I basically get in at 85 to 90 cents, take 10 cents profit, or have to sell for a loss at 50 cents. I can only get in after 7 minutes, so time becomes my ally. And then I have to get out at 2 minutes. If I don't already have my 10 cent profit, I have to get out. So that's kind of the rules that I'm trading with, and just testing that strategy so I can program it into a bot and I have a good sense it'll be, profitable. I'm trying to figure out if I need to add certain things to the strategy to keep the bot from bidding in a market that doesn't fit the strategy. So that's kind of what I'm doing, but as the host, I'm mostly holding space for the chat, for people to meet each other, hang out, ask questions, just chill out and learn some stuff. So that's basically it. So your strategy for the bot is to buy late, just for a lower risk of losing money. The strategy is, high probability with little time left. We've got a couple things that are unusual about these markets compared to like stocks or something else. There's a time limit on these, and you can sell like a stock. You can sell, it's not like gambling where it's like either you win or you lose. In the middle of the market, you can say, I'm out, I sell, I'm done. So that's what makes this a little bit different than other things that go on. So, I want time as my ally, and I want high probability as my ally. So I've got a kind of a double whammy. There's less time left. I'm just trying to get a 10 cent profit. So I want really high probability with little time left. And I'll show you what I do at the 7-minute mark right here. So I'll be in silent music mode for a little while. I'll be back once I'm done.
Pulled you back into the sea, all the way down. Why'd it take all our life to explain that it's more beautiful when you're here? I remember the lie when I turned around and revealed all the truth, no escape. Point blank.
So I'm only doing small contracts while I'm kind of cultivating this strategy for this bot. But, you know, I made 10% return on that investment, maybe even probably more than that. Because I got in at 86 cents times 5. That's got to be around $4.20 or something like that. I don't know exactly what it is, but something like that. So I got 51 cents return within that 15-minute window. So that's more than 10%. So you can scale that up, but yeah, with this, you're kind of like using the leverage of your shares to buy the high probability. Some people call this strategy picking up pennies in front of a steamroller, because if it turns on you and goes in the other direction, it hurts. It you know it wipes you. It takes half of your investment away, like in a heartbeat. But yeah, we're doing high probability. Uh, this strategy will probably, in order for it to be successful, needs to win, 80 or more percent of the time. And I do, and when I'm not trading like a bot, like I am right now, I, I tend to sit out markets that I just don't feel right about, that it feels still too volatile. Or with the bot doesn't have that kind of intuition. I need to program in what I want it to do. So I'm trying to just be brainless and just do exactly what I would program in. And then after this week is done, we're going to see, was it profitable? Could that strategy have been changed, improved? So we're really kind of trying to not only do this for bot trading, but also to just see if we can have an exact script we follow to trade that we know is going to be profitable. So anyway, yeah, I hope that answers your question about the strategy. But that 18-minute video probably does an even better job of giving you the full lowdown of what I'm doing. That being said, this is not the only strategy that works. There are plenty of other ones that can be very successful. You got to find a strategy that works for your personality. That I'm the kind of person that I am patient. I'm a very patient person, and I like chilling out, doing things little bits at a time, and making huge progress over a period of time, but never feeling like I'm stressing. All very easy, like little bits at a time, like pennies piling up. And so that works for me, and it doesn't bore me. It actually kind of is very satisfying to me to follow that strategy. Other people would hate it. Like it'd just be like, ugh, that's just so dumb. It's so tedious, But it's not like that for me at all. And I think I don't know, maybe it's the older you get, the more patience you have, and you're not in a hurry to lose your money. You know what I mean? You're not in a hurry to make mistakes and lose your money. So thank you, Serge. Appreciate it. We've already broken the record. 15 likes. It's wonderful. So yeah, next one will have to be whatever is above where we finished tonight. So anyway, that's kind of the basic of my strategy, but yeah, it's not the only one that can work. There's a lot of other different things you can do. All that has to end up happening is whatever your losses are, however often you lose with your strategy, your wins have to make more than that. You know what I mean? That's the key to figure out. How often am I losing with this strategy? Because every strategy is going to lose. Like You can't win all the time doing this. But the amount I win and how often I win outweigh how much I lose when I lose. That's if you can figure out that equation and make it work, you will be profitable. That's it. That's all you got to do. No big deal. But it does usually take a while of testing and sticking with one strategy to find out in the long term if it's profitable. You can have a bad day and lose some money and then throw the strategy out the window and then try something else and that doesn't work that day. Your old strategy would have worked great, but you switch to something else, so you lose with that one too. I think the best thing to do is find a strategy, work with it for a while, maybe give yourself permission to think about, oh, if I did this and this, maybe that would work. There is a period where you're likely going to lose money, but you're testing theories. And we just call that tuition. You're just paying tuition to learn about trading. That's all. And when you're doing that, I just use small amounts of contracts. Don't get crazy. When you're testing a strategy, really one contract is fine. All you're trying to do is see if it's profitable. And then you can scale from there. Boom, 15. Yeah, Serge, I definitely see the numbers drop off around 11 p.m. my time. Although then now it just jumped right back up, but we'll have to see. I may start ending at 11. I'm starting to get pretty tired, so maybe I'll go till 11:30 tonight. But yeah, I may start ending at 11. If you haven't met Serge yet, Serge is amazing. Say hello. Become friends with Serge. He's great. We got Carlos. Carlos is hanging out on the regular in the chat. So those are the two OG for real folks in the chat that are old reliable. Yeah, it is late on the East Coast. 2 a.m. coming up on. Yeah, I think 11 might be a good kind of just in general for me to give myself some time to wind down before bed and all that stuff. So, believe it or not, I'm kind of an introvert. I like my private time and peace and quiet and simplicity, and I find being in a room with a bunch of people to be kind of draining. I much rather just hang out with one person or a small group of people. But yeah, this works for me. I'm sitting with my cat in my comfortable chair, trading stuff and chatting. But it is a slight drain. At first I thought I wouldn't talk at all. I would just trade and have music playing and just chat in the chat. But yeah, people prefer me to talk, so that's fine. That's fine. All right, I suppose I should transition to trading mode. And yeah, we'll do 2 more markets after this, and we'll call it a night at the 11:30 Pacific time mark. So this one and 2 more before we call it a night. I will go into trading mode, and I'll be back when I'm done.
need your space, then pull me close. I read your silence, louder than most. One day you're warm, the next day you're cold. Got me second guessing what I already know. I give you love, but you ration yours. You open up just to close the door. I stay up late, trying to read your mind. I can't read your mind, but your love got rules that change all the time. Why are you always halfway in? Got me drowning when I know I could swim. If you love me, baby, say it with your chest. Yeah, tired of the maybes, I just want the yes. Don't play me like a song on spin. If you ride for me, then ride to the end. Don't wanna love this paper thin. So why you always halfway in? You hit me up when the nights get slow, but then disappear when the highs get low. I ain't your maybe, tell me what it is, 'cause I'm way too grown to be messing with a love like this. I give you love, but you ration yours. You open up just to close the door. You stay closing doors. I stay up late, trying to read your mind. I can't read your mind, but your love got rules that change all the time. Why are you always halfway in? Got me drowning when I know I could swim. If you love me, baby, say it with your chest. Yeah, tired of the maybes, I just want the yes. Don't play me like a song on spin. If you ride for me, then ride to the end. Don't wanna love this paper thin. So why you always halfway in? Why you always halfway in? Got me drowning when I know I could swim. If you love me, baby, say it with your chest. Yeah, tired of the maybes, I just want the yes. Don't play me like a song on spin. If you ride for me, then ride to the end. Don't wanna love this paper thin. So why you always halfway in?
Porch light flicker on the siding, moths dancing like they know the tune. Porch light flicker on the siding, moths dancing like they know the tune. Every breath feels borrowed, but tonight the world's in tune. Old chair hums beneath me, plank boards keep the time. Old chair hums beneath me, plank boards keep the time. If this sound ain't perfect, that's how it's mine. Someone left the radio humming low next door. Someone left the radio humming low next door. Static sings the harmony. I couldn't ask for more. Let the porch light burn uneven. Let the shadows play. Yeah, the porch light burn uneven. Keep the night from drifting away. If this ain't heaven, it'll do for today.
All right, another win for the good guys. Boy, if you look at that chart, it's pretty rare for it to be that much of a pattern, but we've got a pretty solid pattern going. And if this pattern continues, we should really expect the downturn to start like now. We'll see if it does, but the trend today has been if it touches or even comes close to the Bollinger Band, it's going back in the other direction. So it's starting to get late, so the trend may not continue because there's less energy in the market at this hour. But we'll see. It's been a very consistent pattern of up to the edge, down to the bottom, up to the edge, down to the bottom. So it's been going on like that for, 12 hours. We've had 12 hours of that pattern, so we'll see if we get the down that kind of really starts running away on this next one. But yeah, almost a 450. We got 17 likes. Man, this is amazing. Just made some more, Cantrell. Heck yeah. Cantrell, I stream twice a day. Pacific time, noon to 4, 8 to midnight. So I'm not always streaming that entire time, but that's the window that I stream in. Sometimes I get tired and I end a little early, or I got something going on, so I don't get started until a little later. But usually I'm doing this 6 to 8 hours a day. So Pacific time, noon to 4, 8 to midnight. Tonight we're gonna go till 11:30. So, but yeah, I'm pretty much me and Serge and Carlos are here daily, just hanging, trying to make some cash, trying to become better traders. I appreciate that. Yeah, I just started doing this. I started trading these markets over a year ago, but like I just started doing the live streaming about 3 weeks ago, and it's kind of taken off pretty fast. To already be at 450 subscribers after 3 weeks I'm pretty amazed that we've gotten that far. And the streams are always, somewhere between 10 and 25 people already at a time. So definitely people interested in this. It's predictive markets are a new thing relatively, and you know they're easy to access, and anybody can do it. And we're coming together to see. Let's find some strategies that work. Let's test these strategies. Let's talk about how do market conditions affect different strategies and stuff like that. So we're just trying to become smarter and wiser and wealthier. That's kind of the deal. Where do you find the trading view on the bottom middle of your screen? Thank you for the question. This particular trading view chart is on coinmarketcap.com. And I was using just straight from TradingView, but the ads were a bit much for me. I try to keep the screen moving on its own. That's why I like Tape Surf, because that recenters on its own. The chart auto updates on its own. The CF benchmark price is constantly updating, so I can just focus on trading and talking. So yeah, you can get that TradingView chart on a number of different platforms, but I tend to have I've had a good experience on CoinMarketCap in general. It's a pretty reliable, solid resource. So I do recommend that. 26 people in the room. Wow. It's been a heck of a night. We're kind of wrapping up. We're going to do two more markets before we wrap up for the night. But I'm on every day, streaming for about 6 to 8 hours. on the Pacific time zone. So it's getting, around this time, we kind of transition to the night owl mode, and we do get some big numbers at this time. I think because there's not much else going on the live, so the numbers do tend to get pretty large in the last little bit here. So anyway, just to review what's on the board and what I'm doing. What's on your screen is Kalshi, obviously on the left. I'm using limit orders, which allows me to have more control over what price I'm buying at and selling at. We've got tape surf is the sideways horizontal bar charts, red and green. We've got that at a grouping of $2.50 per chunk, per graph. So we can zoom in or zoom out, but that seems to be a decent number for the activity we got going on right now. And the red is people asking. So basically selling at a certain price. And the green is people bidding, and they're bidding at a certain price. And in between is where the value is at the current moment. So if somebody comes in and buys right now, they would eat up some of the red chart. Let's say somebody bought 20 Bitcoin right now. They would drive the price up probably 30 points right away, because it would eat through all the orders that are on the board until it got through all 20. And so that's how the price moves. Somebody buys, somebody sells, and the amount that they buy or sell is how much the price moves, because to fill all those orders, it'll have to go down the chart until it runs out of the amount that it needed. So that's kind of what drives the price. We've just got the one exchange on the board. It's Coinbase, just for simplicity's sake. There are multiple exchanges you can watch, and you can aggregate multiple exchanges to see all of them at one time. I'm just trying to keep the visuals kind of more simple on the screen. We got the chart. We only got two indicators on. We've got Bollinger Bands on the top here. That just kind of gives you an idea of where there's likely to be resistance to the price going any further up or down. So if you watch this chart over the past 12 hours, you can see the Bollinger Bands are a very good predictor right now of a reversal. And I wish I could zoom in so it didn't. Oh, there you go. That's a little bit better. So you can see it gets close up here, comes back down. Gets close down here, comes back up. So these lines just kind of give you an idea of where there's likely to be resistance to going any further in that direction. And that adjusts, it's an ongoing adjustment. RSI is a similar thing. The top line is 70, the middle line is 50, the bottom line is 30. Anything above 70 is generally gives you a sense that it's likely to start going in the other direction. Anything below 30, it's likely to start going in the other direction. So they're a similar indicator. They just kind of reinforce each other and give you a real solid read on when the market is likely oversold or overbought. Overbought is where we're kind of at right now. Likely the price is a little high, so people are thinking, this is probably a good time to sell. The price is high, might be a good time to get out. So we're moving into that kind of mindset because all these traders are looking at these charts, the same charts we're looking at. And finally, the white box is the real-time price that Bitcoin uses to determine its results. So that's everything that's on the screen. Thanks for the info. Your streams are super informative and helpful. That's wonderful. Thank you so much. What indicators and data points do you look at when you start trading for the day? Let me come back and answer that right after I'm done trading this one. I got to get into trading mode, but it's a great question, and I will be back to answer it.
strategy. Yeah, you switch things up, now you seem brand new to me. But was that even for? Was you playing your games? Was you really bored? No. I really should've known. Be with that and right till we hit a red light. Then I see the signs. Oh, after all that time, this is it for us. You don't wanna try. Thought your love was real, but it never was. No, you can't decide. Oh, after all this time, this is it for us. After all this time, this is it for us. After all this time, this is it for us. Oh, I really should've known. Be with anime till we hit a red light. Then I see the side. Oh, after all that time, this is it for us. You don't wanna try. Thought your love was real, but it never was. No, you can't decide. Oh, after all this time, this is it for us.
So part of my strategy is if it gets to 3 minutes left and neither side has reached 85, I skip that market. I'm not going to be in on that market. So we reached that point. Yeah, this is what when we get to the Bollinger Band, to the edge of the Bollinger Band, there's going to be a tendency for the market to get kind of chaotic because there's still some pressure, some like trend is up, but the resistance starts kicking in. So you get the drop and then the rise and the drop. It's a kind of a big battle going on at this kind of resistance point. So we'll see what happens from here, but the trend has been that we should get a reversal here. And so that's, everybody in this market is kind of waiting for that big drop to happen. And so things are a bit chaotic at the moment. Let's get to a slight down today. It's been I had like 3 losses. Overall, pretty close to break even. Like it was a rough day, but it's basically just a slight loss for me. I agree. Sitting out. So, Serge, you get paid more if you have to go to court for your job? I would hope they pay you more for that. So, what indicators and data points do I look at when I start trading for the day? I look at the chart. I see where we are. I look at the trend from the last day, like kind of like on the 15-minute chart. Where have we been? What's the journey we're on today? And then, I just check out the Bollinger Bands, the RSI, see where we're at. I'll look at, that's the main thing I check in with to get started. And then I'll just mostly, if I'm trading manually, not using a strict bot strategy, I'll most likely watch a couple markets, 1 or 2, just to get us a feel for what the volume is, what the volatility is, just to get grounded in what's happening. So, like right now, after being live for like over 3 hours, I've been really focused in, and I'm aware of the pattern. I'm aware of like the energy of the market. I'm very in the moment with the market, and I just try to get there before I start getting my money involved in the whole thing. Serge is staying out of this one. Carlos is sitting out of this one. You don't like the hourly? I don't mind the hourly. They don't pay you more to go to court? That's terrible. That's stressful, bro. I don't mind the hourly. I just like having 4 opportunities an hour to do something, and I like to keep my focus on that because I've got my hands full trying to run the stream, keep everything on the screen how it's supposed to be, answer questions, all that stuff. If I added in the hourly, it would be a bit much for me. Usually I'm told I'm not needed after being subpoenaed. Yeah, I've been summoned for jury duty twice in the last year, and the night before it's been canceled both times. So I'll look for my next one in like 4 months, and it'll probably get canceled. So he made $1,000 today. Congratulations, blessed. It's a fantastic day. That's amazing. What strategy were you using today to have those great profits? Strategy was, please go down. Like, yeah. Well, that would have worked for like 2 hour increments. We've kind of had like long stretches of down, long stretches of up, with a little bit of other, bit of contrast mixed in between, but a lot of streaks that get up to the edge of the Bollinger Band and reverse. This is resisting a reverse a little bit, but I would not be surprised if we get a string of down starting at some point here coming up. And it's one of those things, once it starts, it could go for a couple hours. I like the strategy. Just pray it's down. Like, it's like going to the roulette table and betting on black. Like, like, just go black. Give me a black number. Thank you so much. Like, last market. Right. That's correct. This is the last market of the night. I'm going to call it night and rest up for another full day tomorrow. I know, bro. Exceeded the like goal. 17 likes. I had a feeling it was going to be helpful to just put that goal up on the screen, because there's only so many times you and I can ask about it in the chat, or I can say it. But if it's just on the screen, it's a constant reminder for folks that they can do that. So yeah, 17, all-time record. And we're almost to 450 subscribers. One away. So we're closing in real close on that 500, and I'll have to do some research on all the things that opens up for me as a streamer. It does allow me to do some different stuff. I try to ask during viewer peaks so I don't bother too many people. Yeah, it's a good idea. But I'll make it a little easier on you by just keeping it on the screen. I think that's the easiest way to do it. And I don't know. I think some people don't know that hitting those emojis is actually a big indicator for YouTube. And I don't know how to get that kind of started in this community. That I think right now it's just getting people to hit like is enough. Like, maybe eventually when we're bigger, we got more people in the room, hitting those emojis will become a little bit more common. I don't like to do it myself because it just feels, but sometimes people just need to see that, oh yeah, I can do that, right? I can press emojis, right? I usually Usually when I start spamming it, people follow me. Yeah. Yeah, it's most things just people being reminded that, oh yeah, I can do that too, you know. But we're getting better every day, Serge. We're learning, adding stuff, getting rid of stuff that's not important, you know, streamlining. But all right, let me get ready for this market. Looks a little close. We'll see if we get the reversal here during this last 9 minutes. I feel like it might be coming.
I'm stuck in a prison of doubt. In this torsion, and everything is growing up tight. There's no room to breathe, and nobody is watching at night. Who wanna rise up? Need a friend to shake me out again. Need a friend to shake me out again. I don't know if I can find my way out. In this torsion, and everything is growing up tight. There's no room to breathe. Fall into the ocean. I'm reaching out, I'm reaching in. The water is rising over me. The water is rising. It's coming. I'm reaching out, I'm reaching in. The water is rising over me. The water is rising. I'm reaching. It's coming. I'm reaching. The water is rising over me. I'm reaching out. I'm reaching. It's coming. The water is rising over me. I'm reaching out. I'm reaching. It's coming.
Yeah, the the old me from like a week ago would be like starting to get super aggressive on the down. I have a feeling Blessed might be thinking the same thing. But I make really bad decisions after midnight, so this is a good time for me to wrap it up and watch some YouTube videos, chill out, and get some rest for tomorrow. So, again, as always, thank you so much for everybody. Such big numbers tonight, hanging out with me, talking strategy, talking predictive markets, and just building a nice little community of people trying to get better at trading and financial markets in general. So it's been great. Thank you to all of you who've hung out with me, especially Serge. Thank you, Serge. And we'll do it again tomorrow. I'm on twice a day. Afternoon session goes from noon to 4 Pacific time and 8 to midnight Pacific time. So I may not be on that entire time, but that's the window where I do my streams. So thank you again for all the likes. Have our record of 17 now we got to beat, and we're almost to 450 subscribers. So it's been a great day. Thanks again. Have a great night, and I will see you again next time.